thought would be fruitful in this context is to draw the line from talking about the status quo, where are we, talking figures, etc., and then coming to Huelva as a special example, and finally bridging to improvement and big questions of change development. So, Angels, first of all, can you explain this word circular migration again before we dig into the status quo, that everybody understands what you mean?
Yeah. So I will have to start with the idea that in order to recruit workers in any sector, in non-resident workers, you can use different types of migrants, let's call it. Yeah. So you can recruit people just for a specific job, and they stay there for the time they are working, and they go back or they continue working in other places. So with the idea of circular migration, we are referring to, it's more an aim than a reality. We will be trying, or the policies that are being implemented are trying to create the idea of a circuit that year after year, and according to the new Spanish law, the GECO law that has been renewed in the last year, so for 4 years, those migrants are recruited for 4 years, and they have the capacity to stay in the country, to work for one employer, until in a period from 1 month to 9 months, and they have to go back to the country and return the year afterwards. So what's supposed to be an actual system, it's try to be regulated by a legal framework that gives at least a security for 4 years that those workers will have a post, a job when they come back the year afterwards in the same sector for the same employer.
Okay, we collect more facts, let's say, to get an image of the general situation. And this is my first question now to Maria and Carlos. Maybe Carlos, you start, and then Maria, you join. Can you give us, besides this circular migration effect, an idea of the figures we are talking about? If we talk about seasonal workers in Europe, about the status quo, what are the conditions? Maybe you start, Carlos, that we get an image of what are we talking about.
Sure. Thank you for the question. As we were saying, I think we were talking already about, the condition of these migrant workers are usually bad. Well, of course, we are talking in general. Of course, there are farms that the workers are in good conditions, they're happy there, stuff like that. But in general, the conditions are not the best. How we know this? How we reach to the idea? This is, if you go to every country in Europe, usually the less beautiful job, let's say, usually is the agricultural sector. Why? So it's so hard, extremely hard. The conditions are not good, the salaries are bad, you have to work or early in the morning or late in the night, usually a lot of hours, and it's so hard, physically it's so demanding too. So the sector is like this, but Europe need this kind of profiled agriculture. Why? Europe need to be competitive against other countries outside the European Union. Europe need that. So in the sense that if you are paying a low salary, you're giving them low conditions, living conditions, etc., etc.
Water scarcity, for example, is that a topic? We just see it here in the image. Water scarcity, that people have to organize their own water, electricity, etc.
Yeah, exactly. This kind of condition. Usually they live outside. They don't live in the cities. Inside the cities, they live outside. They have lack of access of everything that we understand that is normal.
That brings you to the idea of, or the term social exclusion.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a synonym, Temporary worker, agricultural worker is like a synonym of being in social exclusion, because everything that is happening, the living condition, working condition, social condition, the structural racism that exists in all Europe, that make them be a part of everything. This is exclusion. Yeah.